Cinephiles await the biggest releases of the year. We tell you about some upcoming films of 2025.
I see.
Know how Squid Game became a cultural phenomenon. And meet Indian singer Papan as he talks about his musical journey. All this and much more with me, Diksha Bisla, on WION E-Club at these times.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yo1.com.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the US.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players, right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Hello and welcome to the West Asia Post. I am Ghadi Francis, coming to you from Beirut, Lebanon, as the world drew curtains over 2024. In this part of the world, in this region, some people witnessed blanket bombings, especially the Palestinians in Gaza. In the next report, we take a look at how West Asia ended a year and entered another. We start by focusing on Syria. Now, Syria witnessed a big change and shift in 2024. The new Syrian ruler, Ahmed al-Shara, promised that the country would witness elections eventually. In the following report, we ask, would the new Syrian regime actually carry on a democratic elections in Syria? Take a look.
After decades of silence, the cafes are crowded in Syria, filled with people now asking for voting rights to elect a democratic government.
It was forbidden to talk about politics in schools or universities, and our parents would always warn us, saying, "The walls have ears."
Syria's de facto leader, Ahmed al-Shara, has promised to unite all Syrians, but says the process could take up to 3 to 4 years.
The constitution cannot be drafted quickly. It must be done very carefully and be monitored and consulted by experts, meaning international laws and legislators, so that the constitution can be reformed to last as long as possible. The opportunity that we have today does not come every 5 or 10 years.
Lawyers in Syria are now demanding free elections for their bar after the country's new rulers appointed a council to govern the association. The bar had played a leading role in opposing state repression, particularly in the early 1980s. In Syria's new political era, the interim government has promised justice, jobs and security. A special committee for Assad's loyalists and those who committed crimes are also in the making. The recent crackdown of Syria's rulers has led to over 300 arrests. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, leader, has appointed Mohammed al-Bashir to lead a caretaker government till March. Bashir first emerged as a minister in the HTS-backed Salvation government in 2021. His background in electrical engineering, project management and administrative planning suggests he has the know-how in maintaining basic services in the country. Facing decades of oppression in a country torn by civil war, women are demanding equal rights in the country. Newly appointed head of the Women's Affairs Office, Aisha Al-Dibs, says the administration will enable women to contribute to the rebuilding of the country. A first in Syrian history. Maisa Sabrin has become the first woman to lead Syria's central bank in over 70 years. With more than 15 years of experience in the field, Sabrin is a long-time central bank official. With millions displaced and high expectations from an ethnically diverse population, the new administration faces the daunting task of uniting a fractured nation while avoiding further conflicts, including with Israel. Syria's new foreign minister, Assad Hassan al-Shibani, has warned Iran against spreading chaos in the country. Syria's foreign minister is also trying to extend an olive branch to the Gulf, sending its first delegation to Saudi Arabia. Syrian diplomacy's success is showing signs, with Gulf cooperation calling on its partners to lift sanctions on the country.
To empower Syria economically, the Ministerial Council called for the lifting the sanctions on the country and urged all relevant partners, countries and organizations to provide full support to the Syrian people, assuming that the Gulf Cooperation Council countries will continue to offer humanitarian assistance.
There are some encouraging signs for a Syrian democracy, with the new Syrian Information Minister Mohammed al-Omar promising a free press and freedom of expression for all Syrians. In this transitional phase, where world powers are closely monitoring the caretakers of Syria, the West has removed its earlier bounty of $10 million for the leader of HTS, Ahmed al-Shara's arrest. The pressing question is, after warnings from Iran and Israeli forces stationed in its buffer zone area, how will Syrian government ensure stability in the country?
Now, let's talk about Yemen. Yemen's Houthis say they have found a cheat code to disable Israel's famed Iron Dome. They're not only targeting Israeli bases near Tel Aviv, they're also targeting airports and power facilities. Now, Israel and its ally, the United States, are carrying on bombings in the Yemeni capital, Sana'a, and the coastal region. In the following report, we tell you more about the Yemen's Houthis' claims and the escalations over there. Take a look.
Tel Aviv continues bombardment, Houthi missiles evading the famous Iron Dome, striking the heart of the central Israeli city. Israel has responded with ferocity, striking multiple targets in Yemen, including the port city of Hodeidah. But in recent months, Houthis claim that they have cracked the code to breach the Israeli Iron Dome. They also claim to detect any missile that enters Yemen's airspace. This week, Houthis claim to have downed US MQ-9 drone in the airspace of the oil-rich province of Marib.
With the help of Allah Almighty, the air defenses of the Yemeni Houthi armed forces managed to shoot down an American MQ-9 drone while it was carrying out hostile missions in the airspace of Marib province. The drone was shot down by a locally manufactured surface-to-air missile. This drone is the second that our air defenses managed to shoot down within 72 hours, and the 14th during the Battle of the Promised Conquest and the Holy Jihad in support of Gaza.
Sirens blare in parts of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv more frequently in the last 2 months. Houthis claim they have struck Tel Aviv with a hypersonic ballistic missile type Palestine 2. And that would have traveled an approximate distance of 2,040 kilometers from Yemeni borders. Yemen's rebel group claims its missiles can cover the distance in just 11 minutes. Palestine hypersonic missile can travel a range of 2,150 kilometers. It features stealth technology and travels at a speed of Mach 16. That is 16 times faster than the speed of sound. The Palestine hypersonic missile is known for its high maneuverability capability of bypassing the latest and most powerful air defense systems in the world, including the Iron Dome. Houthis have targeted central Israel multiple times in the last 6 months. On July 19, the Iran-backed group launched a drone strike on Tel Aviv. At least 1 person was killed while 10 others suffered injury. 2 months later, Houthis struck central Israel with a hypersonic missile for the first time. The IDF claimed the missile was hit by an interceptor and fragmented in the air. On December 16th, the Yemen-based group carried out another hypersonic missile attack, but no injuries were reported. 5 days later, Houthis carried out another missile attack targeting Israeli military in Tel Aviv. The attacks continued till the end of 2024, and it has not stopped yet. Amid a raging missile battle between the Houthis and Israel, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei called for the revival of resistance against the West.
Lebanon is a symbol of resistance and will emerge victorious. Yemen too is a symbol of resistance and will achieve victory. And, God willing, the enemies and aggressors, foremost among them the greedy and criminal America, will be forced to leave the people and nations of the region alone and disgracefully withdraw from this region.
Israel has issued a final warning to the rebel group, claiming that it will face the same fate as Hamas and Hezbollah.
I'm saying to the leadership of the Houthis, I have a message for you today. Perhaps you have not been paying attention to the lessons of this past year. Let me remind you what happened to Hamas, to Hezbollah, to Assad, and to all those who sought to destroy us. This is not a threat. It is a promise. You will share the same miserable fate.
The Iron Dome is considered a virtually impenetrable security system of Israel, but the back-to-back missile and drone attacks have raised concerns over its vulnerabilities. There are concerns that the Iron Dome is weakening, and the Houthis definitely believe they have found its flaws.
Now it's time to talk about the country I'm currently in, Lebanon. The Lebanese people entered 2025 with a hope to a more peaceful year. Now, a little before the end of 2024, a truce or a ceasefire was in place in Lebanon. But regardless of that, multiple tens of violations were carried on by Israel as it's still present in Lebanese land and still carrying out bombings. The following report, we asked, is Israel actually backing out from the ceasefire with Lebanon and the ceasefire terms? Listen in.
With the Hezbollah-Israel war in 2024 denting Lebanon's economy and landscape, residents in the country's capital Beirut hope that 2025 will not see a continuation of the trend.
2024 was a year of war, a year of bad economy for Lebanon. We hope that 2025 will be a better one, better on the political and economic levels.
Lebanon is in the middle of one of its worst economic crises. The World Bank estimates the Hezbollah-Israel hostilities have caused the country physical damage and economic losses to the tune of over $8.5 billion. Hezbollah, however, is promising to restore what has been lost.
I want to reassure our people that the needed funding for the sheltering and restoration phase is being fully secured and will reach those entitled according to the established mechanism.
A ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah came into effect on 27th November. But despite the truce, Israeli forces have continued to inflict damage in the country's south. Various monitors estimate over 260 violations have taken place so far in Lebanon. Most of them are from the Israeli side. The truce deal brokered by Paris and Washington states that UN peacekeeping forces and the Lebanese army should redeploy in the south, and Israeli forces should withdraw from southern Lebanon within 60 days of the truce. But now, Israeli media reports that Israel might stay in Lebanon over the stipulated period. Israel's army chief said that the IDF has already achieved victory over Hezbollah, while calling on the Lebanese government to help restart the economy in the south.
Militarily, we have won. That's very clear. But to achieve a true long-term victory, we need to see many citizens living here and many tourists visiting. The restaurants, cafes, the people coming here to cycle, and the agriculture flourishing. That's victory. a lasting victory. The state needs to step in and put its full weight behind it.
Throughout 2024, Lebanon has been without a president. Parliament has repeatedly failed to elect a successor to Michel Aoun, who left office in October 2022. This has increased the pressure on Lebanon's caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati. Lebanon's political gridlock has hampered efforts to implement IMF reforms to unlock much-needed financial assistance. With the country's new parliament session scheduled to start on 9th of January, there is no certainty that the country's ceasefire will hold.
Saudi Arabia is aiming to purchase Turkey's famous homegrown drone, Kaan. Defense reports and experts say that the United States of America is not very happy with Riyadh's decision. We tell you more in this report.
Saudi Arabia is expanding its 2030 vision. As a part of its modernization journey, it is also eyeing Turkey's first homegrown Kaan fighter jets. After days of discussions hosted by Turkey on defense collaboration, Turkish media says Riyadh is keen on purchasing 100 stealth Turkey jets. Reports suggest that Riyadh's plans for purchasing might not just be for defense, but also political purposes. It might be possible that the Gulf nation wants to signal Washington about its alternative to the fifth generation F-35. The kingdom traditionally has relied on US-made F-35 jets, but it is not able to acquire it since 2013, despite making repeated requests. Riyadh has now turned to its other options, which include the French Rafale, Turkey's Kaan fighter jet, and China's J-31 stealth fighter. Not just the jets, Riyadh also wants an agreement that includes clauses for technology transfer and local production. This fifth-generation twin-engine stealth fighter reportedly has cutting-edge technology. As per reports, it excels in air superiority and multi-role operations. It measures 21 meters long with a wingspan of 14 meters and a height of 6 meters, and is capable of reaching speeds up to Mach 1.8. It can operate at altitudes up to 55,000 feet, and its combat range extends to roughly 1100 kilometers with a payload capacity exceeding 6,000 kilograms. Advanced systems further enhance its capabilities. Its radar reportedly can detect targets over 100 kilometers away. But there is just one problem. The Turkish defense industry is dependent on foreign engines. Most of its aviation projects, such as the Kaan, depend on General Electric's F-110 engines, which make it vulnerable to possible US sanctions. A similar event took place in 2021 when US vetoed Ankara's sale of T-129 attack helicopters to Pakistan. Turkish Aviation's Kaan is intended to replace Turkey's aging F-16 fleet, reducing the country's dependence on foreign defense imports. It remains to be seen whether Riyadh will close the deal with Turkey. As Kaan program develops, so will the scale and probability of any such deal is expected to emerge.
Although in many parts of West Asia, people were suffering from losses, destruction, despair, and death, in other parts of West Asia, people were actually celebrating with fireworks in the end of 2024 and in the welcome of 2025. The following report tells you more.
This past year passed and was a tragedy, and it's hard. We are hoping that the coming new year will bring something better. Though it's all in the unknown. Hour by hour, we don't know what's destined for us or what will happen.
That's all we have for you on this episode of the West Asia Post. I will see you next week with a brand new lineup, always bringing you the most recent updates, news and ground reports from the world's most volatile region. I am Ghadi Francis signing off from Beirut, Lebanon. For more global news, keep on watching WION. World is One.
India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is One. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Know more, understand better, think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays, 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the US.
And I will be here at the WION headquarters, getting you all the action from the universe of sport. All that you need to know about your favorite teams and players, right here.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is One. From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at yowon.com.
Know more? Understand better? Think ahead. Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Get the facts, not the bombast. On the 26th of March, dynamic pricing, Baloch separatists, Gravitas cuts out the clutter. Gravitas keeps calm when others scream. Gravitas brings news to life. Weekdays 9 p.m. IST, 3:30 p.m. GMT. Gravitas. Seeing is believing.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Race to Power. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and on the show today, we'll be taking a look at the high drama that unfolded for 6 long hours between the Presidential Security Services and the investigators from the South Korean Anti-Corruption Agency, who are trying to arrest the now impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol, sparking concerns that South Korea potentially could be hurtling towards an impending civil war. But the bigger